All right, we are back here. It's halftime with the Madison Blue Streaks up by 3 over the Edgewood Warriors, and I am here with head coach Elijah Juan Cooper, head coach of the Edgewood Warriors football team. So, coach, how's it going with football right now?
I tell you what, man, it's when I was in high school 20 years ago, um, it wasn't necessarily a full year thing. Now we've kind of gotten to a place where football is full, it's all year round, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So we're in our off-season grind right now. Guys working on, getting better physically, while also making sure they're working on their craft as far as, the football. So the off-season, that's where the magic really happens because that's where, you make all your gains. You don't make gains during the season. So we're enjoying a pretty good offseason so far. Got pretty good numbers in the weight room. Got a breakfast club weight room group going right now. A list
Sure.
before school starts. So
Oh, okay.
all is well.
All right, so, and I've seen that, and not just with Edgewood, but you look at some of the other programs in the area, and, you can tell that athletes are made, athletes, and you know what? You got the average kid who goes out there and busts his butt working out, playing different sports all season long, and you can just tell, man, this guy wants it. All right,
Absolutely.
and that's something that I know you try to instill that. How do you do something like that? How do you make these kids really want to excel?
I tell you what, competition is the name of the game. So we stress competition. We also try and make sure we have ample numbers on the team because with ample numbers, you can have competitive practices. If you're having competitive practices, you're going to have a great chance to compete on Friday nights and win a lot of games. But if your practices aren't competitive because you don't have the numbers, it's going to be hard for your guys that are even really good to get better just because they're not getting that look every day in practice. So it's a big deal to make sure that we instill a competitive spirit and a competitive nature in our kids. So we want numbers, but we don't want numbers just for the sake of numbers. We want numbers from a competitive standpoint so that, everybody on our team can be getting better daily because that's the goal, to get better daily.
Okay, so speaking of numbers, do you have an idea of what kind of numbers you're going to have this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be looking at 45 to 50 guys. Last year's team was roughly 33, 34 guys, but we were decimated with injuries. So this year we want to get to that 45, 50 number because that way, even if you have some injuries across the board, your competitive spirit will still allow you to compete just because you got some other guys that can step up.
Yeah.
But if that number is smaller, if guys get hurt, it's hard to ask a freshman or a sophomore to step up on a Friday night when they're physically outmatched for the most part, no matter what position that is.
Sure. Now, I know it's early.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And, with those kind of numbers, that's a good thing. Can you name any names who you think might really step up this year? I mean, and if you don't want to, that's fine too. But what about the younger kids? What about people, and how's that going?
I tell you what, we got a great group of young guys. One guy that I'm really excited about that's coming in is a guy by the name of, we call him Mongo. His name is actually Logan Johnson. So he's an 8th grader currently, but he's coming in as a freshman. Logan's 6'2", about 250 pounds, just won the CVC 8th grade championship in wrestling as a heavyweight. So he's a kid that we're really excited about. We have Zayden Fox on the team who's going to be a junior. Came into his own a lot last year as a sophomore, played some safety for us. Was a guy that hadn't played any football since he was in 6th grade. So
yeah, and he's out here tonight.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So he's got a lot of great ability. And then an unassuming guy that, people may not know who he is, but a guy by the name of Nathan Cameron.
Yeah.
I think Nathan Cameron's probably going to, when he graduates, he'll be our valedictorian or our salutatorian. Kid's smart, skipped a grade. So the kid's smart, plays quarterback, outside linebacker for us. Really will do whatever we ask him to do. Last year he got ample playing time as a sophomore, kind of all over the place. But he's a hard-nosed kid. An example of what kind of athlete he is. He's currently on our bowling team and our wrestling team.
Right.
So he's competing in both sports right now. And we just got report cards the other day. The kid got straight A's. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, he's maintaining it. He's handling it. So he's a guy we're excited about. Nolan Standle's a guy we're excited about that's going to come into his own. He's a line. I think he's going to play some outside linebacker for us this year. But I think he's really going to peak on offense in the slot. He's a nasty kid. Not too big physically, but he's got great heart. And right now he's paying the price in the weight room. So I expect those gains to pay off big time when the season rolls around. So that's just a few guys. I won't name any other guys because I don't want to give away a scouting report while I'm doing a basketball game. But
No, I hear you.
those guys are going to make tremendous strides for us and be a huge part of what we do this year.
Okay, well, looking at the schedule, I'm like, okay, we want to get better. We got to play better teams, and it's gonna be a challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
And of course, tell me your thoughts on the second game of the season.
Oh man, I tell you, God is truly awesome. That's an opportunity that was bestowed upon us.
Well, tell us about it.
So we're going to be playing at the Hall of Fame this year, week 2, against Ramsey, New Jersey, a team out of New Jersey, a team that's very comparable to us. We're going to get to play at the Hall of Fame Stadium. We'll play that game week 2 at 5 p.m. because Camp McKinley plays the game after us. But what an amazing opportunity.
Sure.
What an amazing opportunity, not just for our guys, but for our program and Buckeye community. I expect our community to come out, but we're kind of going to make a day out of it. So we're going to go down early in the morning, check out the Hall of Fame. As a football guy myself, I've never been to the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So I'm excited to go tour the Hall of Fame. Our kids will get to see the Hall of Fame. So it's just a great opportunity. There's not too many times in your life you get a chance to play on the same field as professional athletes. So we're just looking forward to the opportunity. And again, we're extremely blessed. God is truly amazing for allowing us that opportunity. So week 2 is going to be a big deal.
Okay, and speaking of that opportunity, I feel the same way about it with YSN. I've already talked to Sammy about pulling the strings, making sure that we are allowed to get in there and do the game. I'd really be looking forward to doing that. It should be a blast. Little bit different schedule this year. Who are we starting off with?
Yeah, we're starting off with Garrettsville Garfield again.
Oh, okay, that's right.
A hard-nosed football team, going to run the ball. So we understand who they are. We played them this year. We competed pretty well for a half. So this year we're going to try and make sure we put together 2 halves. But I think our experience having 11 seniors this year that have played all 3 years, I think it's going to bode well for us in that game as well.
Okay, good. And again, Chagrin Valley Conference, Lake Division. So, Madison, Geneva, Conneaut, Jefferson. Who am I missing?
Yeah, Lakeside.
Lakeside, yeah.
Yeah, so our conference is pretty good, especially when you start talking about Madison. Madison's got a pretty good quarterback, the Will Randall kid, 6'4" quarterback slinging it. They did pretty good this year. Conneaut, it doesn't seem – kudos to Coach Dobrin at Conneaut because it doesn't matter what he has personnel-wise. He's a phenomenal coach. So we understand Conneaut's going to be tough. And it's our rival with them only being, a few miles away from us.
Sure.
So Conneaut's always tough. My great friend, Coach Hinton, is over at Lakeside now. They made great strides in this first year. So they're going to be a tough out as well. But our kids get up for those games. So there's not too much that needs to be said for those games. And with Geneva, you understand what you're getting with Geneva.
Sure.
So stop the run with those guys, but they're going to be hard-nosed, strong guys. But they lost some good guys this year. So I'm anxious to see what the team looks like next year. Obviously, they got some guys coming back, Bryce Pete, Caden Troy.
Yep.
Still got some guys coming back, but I like our chances. But we got to pay the price. And right now we're paying the price in the offseason by doing the work.
Okay. Well, listen, love to chat with you about this stuff. We should do it more often. We're getting ready to start the third quarter here. And again, thank you for all that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. Anytime we can talk Edgewood football, hey, count me in.
Okay.